What's up, Quarantiners? I'm Hilary Duff, and welcome back to Grand Prix World. It has been a very interesting kick-off to the whole season deal. We seem to be competitive to the point that we get in the points, but it's either we win or we don't finish, or we finish in P8. There's sort of no in between. Our aim for this round is to not only finish with both cars, but have both cars finish in the points, because points mean prizes, and prizes mean the championship. Much to do. We have a 2-season works deal ready to sign with Bridgestone. We're going to sign the crap out of that before anyone swoops in and steals it. I'm going to leave 10% of these guys working on getting us the bonuses that we so obviously need. Very close with the Blondes deal too. We have a 2-season deal with Petronas. I'm going to leave another 10% working on that. PIAA and PlayStation are almost done. I'm going to... which one's worth more? PIAA. I'm going to spend TV Advantage cards on that. And we're going to talk to... not many Asian companies left. Well, there's Agfa, but why don't instead we go for Danker? So put 20% on that. I think that's a pretty good setup for us, and then we can start focusing on who the most important people to bring to Monaco will be. Let's bring... oh, Bridgestone are going somewhere else. What about Danker? Yeah, let's bring Danker along. See if we can't smooth things along. We've made ourselves a cheeky profit. We're going to spend quite a lot of it now. But you can see the difference racing in Europe means for your for your balance sheet. So we've got a run now where we'll be fairly profitable, and then towards the end of the season it's going to tail off again with Japan. Oh, that's excellent. Now we need to spend more money because we need to hire ourselves a wind tunnel so we can finish our upgrade package. We have a hell of a car this year. I mean, a really, really good car. It's just the power unit is bollocks, really. We're going to do some reliability work because to finish first you have to finish. And that means we have some technology to install. I'm going to build a crap ton of spare parts while we've got money, and I'm going to hope that testing in Spain is relatively affordable, because we still have some tyre magic to work. Primarily, I think the wets are the ones that are going to require the most attention. We're very nearly done with testing for fuel development for this season. It'd just be good if Shell would maybe, keep that fuel going forward, but that's not really how the game works. So we just spent about 300 grand on spare parts, as you do. And now it's test o'clock. How much are we talking? I'll spend 200k on tests. I think that's reasonable. We don't need to run that much development testing, which means I can put 10% back onto fuel, so we can keep pushing along there. Why don't we try... Does this work? Let's see. It does, almost. So we'll use those development points. You know the score by now. We're all friends here. I'm going to get some new wet weather tyres because important. The hards, the inters, and the wets still need some love, but the softs are about where we need them. We have 1 point to spend on fuel, and I'm going to spend it on engine tolerance because power is not such a big deal at the next circuit when the upgrade arrives. So we've done our testing. We have some repair work to do on the Carno's car. He failed to make the finish due to a dirty accident, that heathen. So we'll get the cars into race-worthy condition, and Staffing. That was something else that had to happen. So we signed a new head of commercial, a lot more expensive. We extended our contract with Otogoto. I will hire some more designers. This is costing us a huge amount of cash. And it's our mechanics that we're worried about next. And we want Mr. Cowlinshaw. Okay, we'll come back to him. There's still plenty of guys there, so I'm not too worried. If we have to go down to a 3-star, I think the team can take it. Very pleased to see Dario Loretti pick up a win in his debut season. That's very awesome. 4 races and 1 win. That's a 25% win rate. That's pretty good. And he's had the fastest lap in 2 Grand Prix, which I didn't actually pick up on, so maybe we should read the news more. Very happy to have won his first Grand Prix. Yes, of course he is. McLaren are in a works partnership with Goodyear, Kel Surprise. Everyone's favouring Goodyear. No one likes Bridgestone but us. Tora Takagi is moving to Ferrari. Wow, did not see that one coming. Yeah, other than that, people are building driver aids that we don't care about. Let's go racing, shall we? Again, not going to turn anything down on anybody. We're doing okay. I mean, our finish rate is not exactly where I'd like it to be, but we are able to push the car and at least get one car home and often win. And given the power deficit, I don't really want the guys coasting simply because we are scared to open the taps. Yeah, not a lot of upgrades for this Grand Prix, but we do have some new inters in case it decides to get a little damp. Welcome to Spain. 22 degrees, overcast for the Grand Prix. That should keep track temperature a little lower, but really that's only a concern for Nakano, and he seems very well dialed in for the hard compound tyres. Dario Loretti maintains his 100% qualifying ratio to his teammate. However, it's Mika Hakkinen who takes the plaudits, racking up another pole position in that Williams. They've had a real turn of pace this season. Very, very encouraged to see that. It's a McLaren 2-3. John Fellows out-qualifying Damon Hill by 4/10 nearly. Coulthard outqualifies Panis in an Arrows 4-5, and then we have Dario Loretti in P6. Shinji Nakano qualifies down in P10, but to be honest, he's only 4/10 off the back of his teammate on a hard compound tyre, and I think that bodes very well for the race. The Prosts had a decent qualifying session by their standards. Sauber, Benetton and Minardi all down at the back. There seems to be a huge gulf in pace from, well, basically just the Saubers, Benettons and Minardis, who are 1 second and 1/10 off the back of the car in front, let alone pole. They do make it in the 107% at least. 28 degrees and light rain. This is going to fuck with Loretti, but it's sure as hell going to play well with our new intermediate tyres and one Mr. Shinji Nakano. So what we want is 1 stop for Mr. Nakano on lap 33, and we're going to continue to run Loretti light. I'm not expecting him to make the finish, or if he does, he won't be in the points because he's just really piss poor in the wet. But hopefully Nakano can do the business. Let's see. No one does the business. Dario Loretti comes home in the points, but it's an accident for Shinji Nakano, presumably with the Williams of Alexander Wurz. Pedro Diniz, though, takes the win for Jordan ahead of Damon Hill's McLaren and Olivier Panis' Arrows. David Coulthard and Eddie Irvine take P4 and P5, but 1 lap down, and tagging along at the back there, Dario Loretti P6 and the final points-paying position. In the Drivers' Championship, that means Damon Hill leapfrogs Shinji Nakano into P2. Both of them are 12 and 13 points off the back of Mika Hakkinen now, respectively. Loretti now only 5 points behind his teammate. We're still in second place in the Constructors, but Arrows have closed the gap. We're 6 points clear now and 5 points behind the Williams. So, huge profit again. That's delightful. Someone has signed with someone else. Thank God it's not blondes. Oh, you motherfuckers. We've have signed PlayStation though, so that's good news. And Danker are still in play. We have 40% staff remaining, so I'm going to speak to Fond Metal and MasterCard. And we could have a very, very strong sponsor package for next year. Let us see then if we can finally sign Mr. Cowlingshaw. He may have signed with someone else. No, he hasn't. Okay, let's... There we go. Excelente. It's a step down, but we're strengthening the team in other areas. I think we're in a pretty good place, all things considered. Could have stronger drivers, but that's always the case in these playthroughs. I think it's both boring and needlessly expensive to have the best drivers in this game. It really doesn't help. Oh, we have a new engine. I'm going to do some engine testing then and redistribute some of this wealth. Let's see how expensive testing is. Very. But I'm going to do it anyway. At least this much. We'll cancel fuel testing. And we'll do something like this. I think we can take those guys off and those guys possibly. Yeah, do you know what? I think that should be pretty okay. Yeah, that worked fine. Let's first make sure we're not wasting those development points, which we would have been. Just keep pumping that reliability now. We should have an upgrade package ready, and we sure do. I tested early, which means I've fucked our ability to immediately put a new upgrade package into production, but that's fine. I'm going to build those upgrades before I spunk all the capacity on building spare parts. There we go. Now hopefully this upgrade actually is an upgrade and doesn't dick us over. We're now at 86%, so it's a significant upgrade that we brought to the next Grand Prix. Let's do the business here. Masterful. That should mean this is ready. Lame. I'm not going to build any more. Actually, no, let's try for traction control. We've got to get there eventually. We need some spare parts, and we need to order a new spec power unit. So, don't want to add to the weight. What I want to do is get rid of... Yeah, I think that works. There we go. Actually, that's exactly the same as the engine we have now. Good job, moron. Why is it considered a new... Oh, it's lighter. That's all. We've got a lighter power unit. Okay, well, I mean, that's at least an improvement. I can sort of get behind that. I'm going to improve the hard compound tyres because we weren't going to get 5 points, and that means we have the perfect tyre. Let's build ourselves some more spare parts, and then we can hit the track for some fancy and glamorous action in Monaco, which I'm hoping to get some success at. Let's make sure we're inviting all the right people. So we want blondes. They're talking to someone else. Bridgestone talking to someone else. Mugen Honda, Shell, and I guess Petronas. They're the biggest other backer at the moment. I don't know who's taking blondes out because they're not getting anything out of it. And we want to up our spend just for this Grand Prix. Testing is done, so we have some repair work to do. I'd really like it if Shinji Nakano could stop binning his car. That would certainly help the general effort. So there we go. Alrighty then. Again, not turning the guys down. I'm just going to hope that they hold on. Loretti, full brakes, extra downforce, actually double extra downforce, and there we go. I'm going to go slightly different with Shinji Nakano. And what we want is the new power unit, new wet compound tyres, yeah, perfect. Actually, the C spec is it's less reliable, so no. Okay, we're going to keep the tyre split. That seems to be working just fine so far. 22 degrees and light rain, so immediately that takes Loretti out of contention. Let's see how we do. Oh my god, we have pole position. You only see this when you get pole position. Shinji Nakano, pole position by 0.7 of a second, pretty much. Well clear of Mika Häkkinen's Williams in second place. Damon Hill and Pedro Diniz, the other wet weather stars, on the second row. Wirtz and Panis, P5 and P6. Loretti down in P11, which is actually a lot better than I credited him for, although he is 4.3 seconds off our pole sitter, making use there of the new lighter, more nimble car. Delighted with that. Light rain, 24 degrees for the Grand Prix. I'm actually going to one-stop both cars. I don't really think that there's a huge advantage to be had in running light and fast at Monaco. And if anything, it may help the car be just that little bit more planted. It could also be a mistake. The tyres could wear through and we could be in a situation where Loretti can't handle the car and bins it, but you know, this is the kind of season that we're having. I'm doing a dance. It's not a win. Oh, kiss my balls. Pedro Diniz takes the win for Jordan. Very well done, though. A 155.30.752 ahead of Shinji Nakano, who only manages a 156.11.829, and I think that's probably because his tyres went off. Damon Hill was 31 seconds down the road, and those are the only three cars to finish on the lead lap. Dario Loretti finishes at least P10, 3 laps down, but at least he finishes. What does that mean for the championship? Well, Pedro Diniz is now in P2. It's very tight for P2 between Diniz, Nakano and Hill. Mika Häkkinen is still your points leader. In the constructors, though, we are now a mere 1 point behind Williams for the championship lead, 4 points clear of Jordan. It looks like it's actually ramping up to be a very, very close fought season. Those top 5 teams separated by 13 points. That's really not a lot. And we've had a lot of changeable weather, which normally we don't get. Normally there's like 2, possibly 3 wet races a season, and we've had more than that already. So interesting times ahead and a huge profit. I'll treat you to some sponsor news before we leave. Nothing there. We've got some fast tyre upgrades. I'm going to spend the success advantage on Danker because that's quite a big deal, 2.6 million. Fond Metal and MasterCard. Fond Metal offering a 2-season deal, 1.5 million, that's pretty good, and a 1-season, 2.2 million deal from MasterCard. If we sign all those, I'll be a very happy bunny because that means we have a complete sponsor portfolio of mostly 5-star sponsors. That's dope. And I've just realised our tyre deal is for 2 seasons, which also makes me very, very happy. Okay, guys, I hope quarantine is being kind to you and you've not gone completely mental yet. I'm sorry there was no video again at lunchtime today. It's been a very, very busy time, but tomorrow I'm only working half a day, so I'll get some content in the bank for you, make sure that we keep you entertained. Thank you for spending your time with me. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch and comment. I'm reading your comments more frequently now, and it's always nice to hear from you. Take care of yourselves, and we will talk again tomorrow. Bye bye.